Okay, hello everyone. It's nice to see you and thank you for coming. When I first learned to meditate, my Chinese teacher, Master YongHua, stopped teaching. I don't know when. I didn't know when he stopped teaching meditation, but the whole time I was there until the day he died. I think he passed away several months after I joined the temples, his association. But the whole time I was able to listen to his Dharma talks live, in person, I mean, about a few times, 4 times maybe. Received some personal instructions from him about when he was alive, maybe a few times, and a few more times after he passed away. But my interest was, as most of you knew, that my interest was to learn meditation. But it's funny because I came there, he accepted me, knowing full well I wanted to learn meditation from him, and yet he didn't teach me at all directly. So it's kind of interesting that. So my first lessons about Chan was from reading his books, and it's not like the way we have in the West, where we can pick up a manual on meditation. You'll find plenty of those out there. I did. I went to the bookstores. Back then, there's something called Borders. Anyone remembers? Huh? You go there and you hang around, hang out there, and they have chairs everywhere, and you pick up a book and you read. So I did that. I read tons of books on meditation. Bought some books on meditation, and because the instructions on meditation from Master YongHua were very incomplete in a way. For example, he says, you should sit in full lotus, okay? And sit as long as you can. The longer the better, and that's it, okay? He didn't say exactly how to sit in full lotus. Should I put my legs, some of his photos, I had to resort to his photos. Some of his photos, his legs are in front, okay? Some photos, his legs a little bit further back, okay? And so I got confused. I don't know which is the best way. All I wanted to do is just tell me the proper way to sit in full lotus. You teach me to sit in full lotus. What is the way to sit in full lotus, right? That's how we Western educated people are. Give me clear instructions. There's no room for misinterpretations. But no, his instructions are sit in full lotus, and that's about it. Okay. And by the way, we encourage you when you want to teach your children about meditation. It's a very, very good thing to get them started. The earlier the better, even like infants or a few years old. And you simply teach them to sit in full lotus. That's the secret of Chinese Chan meditation. Train them to sit in full lotus. That's it. Okay? And do whatever it takes. The legs are still not flexible enough, but they can become very flexible much quicker than we adults. But teach them to sit in full lotus and bribe them. Do whatever it takes. Okay? Threaten them, bribe them. If they can sit in full lotus, that's it. That's one of the main skills in Chinese Chan meditation, is to sit in full lotus. Okay? So that's what we did to our children. Come on. And to our children, we train them to sit in full lotus. I was involved in a small novice program where we accepted boys between the age of 10 to 17, 18, and train them to become future monks. So they're novices, young novices. And that's what we did. We trained them and sit in full lotus. So many of them couldn't sit in full lotus, but with a little bit of perseverance, we encouraged them to endure the leg pains, and very quickly they can sit in full lotus. And it's a very important skill for anyone to have, okay? Because when you're able to sit in full lotus, you'll be able to enter the state of calm in your mind, because it naturally calms your mind down. Okay, so that's why once the children learn and are able to sit in full lotus, then in the future, in the rest of their lives, they will know how to go back to it. And I have proof. In our temple, in down south, Wei Mountain Temple, there is a small boy. His name's Along. He's part Nazi, part Chinese, part Vietnamese. You know, he speaks so many languages. But when he first started, we being a Chan temple, we put a lot of emphasis on Chan meditation. He couldn't sit in full lotus. His legs would pop out. When he put them in full lotus, his legs, even at the age of 2 or 3, his legs will simply pop out. That, you know, the legs are still not flexible enough. So the mother, his mother says, "My son would not make me look back. You hear?" So she would hold his legs in and train him to pull his leg in and keep it there. And of course it hurt. So he was crying and everything, and so she forced him. But it's a good thing to do for children, again. And now, you know, he can really sit in full lotus for hours. And it turns out, the latest one is that the dad brought him to the dentist. I think it's quite common thing that for children when they go to the dental offices, they're frightened, aren't they? Huh? You tell me. Is that true? And they're frightened. They're all frightened. Okay, so the dad would sit in the chair. And they took a photo of that. The dad sat in the chair, okay, and held his beloved boy, okay. In his arm, where the dental assistant or dentist was kind of drilling his teeth or something. Frightening experience, let me tell you. Okay, and you know what happened? He was so frightened. And what did he do? What do you think? Huh? Young man, what do you think he did? And he was scared. He was so frightened. You know that thing that you get closer to your teeth, and you can start feeling it. You know. What did he do? You think? He crossed his legs. He just without being told. He immediately crossed his legs. And okay, so seriously, it's a skill you go back to time and time again. When you're in trouble, when you're nervous, when you're scared, when you're tired, okay, when you're sleepy, when you need to concentrate, okay, you cross your legs. It's a very, very important skill. That's it. That's what you do. So people who are able to work in the offices, you should cross your legs when you sit on your sit in your chair. That's a good thing to do. One of my engineer disciples here in the Bay Area, she's an engineer, and she sits at her desk at work, and she tells me that her life is stressful, work is so stressful in Silicon Valley, has a boy at home, a baby needs to take care of, a single mother, okay? And so her life's so stressful. She says that the only thing that helps me survive is that I cross my legs at work for 5-6 hours a day, every single day. And she's still so stressed out. Okay, still hasn't learned how to handle stress yet. Okay, so anyway, so it's a very, very good skill to develop for all of you. Okay, I encourage you to learn to sit in full lotus, train yourself. You need help, please ask. We'll be glad to help you. We're very experienced training people in doing that. And you go home and you train your children as well. Very simple, bribe them. You know. If they are able to sit in lotus, give them whatever, ice cream, money, threats, okay, whatever, okay. And of course, when you do that, you yourself should also be able to sit in lotus, okay. All right. So anyway, going back to the story. So I learned about Chan meditation, but my Chinese Chan teacher instructions are very unclear, and that's why you sit there and say, you look around and say people do it differently. So I started looking for different instructions myself. More instructions to do it better, to be sure that I was doing it the right way. And so I remember there is this monk, a disciple of Master YongHua, who positioned himself to be a Chan meditation expert. Yeah? He's been with Master YongHua for many years, back then 15 years plus. So he says, I learned so much from Master YongHua. So I said, oh wow, so you must know how to meditate. He said, yeah, of course I do. Okay, so what did he do? And what did he say? He said that when you sit in meditation, keep your back as straight. Okay, you hear this every now and then. I think some of the Chan teachers imitate each other. So they said, imagine your back, your head has on top of your head there's a cord, and it pulls your body up. Okay, so your back is straight. That's what you do, and don't move. I said, say what? See, because my master never said that. So I said, this guy being the heir apparent of his Chan meditation, he must know what he's doing. So I said, okay, so let me try that. And that's how I learned meditation. I tried from one method after another, based on the so-called meditation experts. Okay, so I tried. Back then, I was able to sit a lot longer than this monk disciple of his already. But I try anything because they're the experts. I wasn't. So one day we went to for a summer retreat with our novices. So in Seattle, Snow Mountain Temple. And so we sat outside, and I decided to do, because we're teaching our kids to sit, as if they're hanging off a string from the ceiling. So the back has to be straight. So I pictured my back being straight, so I pulled myself up and up and up and up, and then kept it still for 1 hour. Okay. So meaning the whole back, the whole chest they're all stiffen up. Okay, and you keep your spine straight like this, as if you're hanging off, a string from a ceiling. Okay, so I kept the position for about half an hour, wouldn't move. Now, by the way, monks, in Wei Mountain Temple, I noticed the three of you are fidgeting or moving when you sit. Don't do that. Okay? You move a lot more than the other people in the audience, maybe except for Brady. Okay? Don't move, Brady. Don't move your arms. There's no need. You sit just fine. And suddenly you move your arm. You know what that means? That you're thinking. You have the thought of moving your arms. Resist that. That's all you do. Okay? It's a simple mistake that people make time and time again. You sit and still, and then a thought strikes up, and you move your arm. Okay? So it's like the surface of your palm is comparable to the state of your mind is calming down with few waves, and you take your hand, you stir it up again. So now you just start over again. It's self-defeating. Stop it. You hear? Same thing the monks. Don't lean forward, don't lean back, don't rotate your neck, and so forth. Okay? At least do what I did. See if you can do that. Stiffen yourself so that I'm not going to move. You don't have to keep your back straight, but don't move. Okay? Control yourself. Sit like a bell. Look yourself. You see, look at people. When they sit like a bell, the shape is a bell, but the bell doesn't move. All right? Those are fundamentals of Chan meditation. Don't move. The rest of the assembly sees you move while they're not moving except for Brady. Okay? That should help motivate you not to move. Okay? You're supposed to be the teachers, Chan teachers, down the road. Okay? Don't move. All right? Anyway, where was I? So I stiffened my back up and my spine, kept my spine straight, my small back straight, which is totally unnatural. Your spine has a natural curvature, an S at the bottom of your spine right there. Is there a natural S curvature right there? Should be natural like that. Okay? But no, I pull it up. I stiffen up as well. Okay? So after half an hour, 45 minutes, I was in horrible, horrible pain because my back hurt. It's a not natural state. See, you look better. When you sit like that, it's beautiful. When you get older, I'll give you a tip. When you get older, girls look at you and say, wow, this guy is cool. Okay? It helps, trust me. YouTube has a question.
Jane asks, what about the shaking of the body during sitting?
Okay, sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes, for example, some of my monks have some very heavy karmic obstructions. That's why they move a lot. Okay, it's because they themselves are not even aware they're moving. That's how heavy the karmic obstructions are. But it's a work in progress. I teach you the fundamentals so that you know what the standards are, and that's why you strive towards that. But in the cases where there's some karmic obstruction very heavy, like some of the monks here, they're actually are harassed by their ghosts, and that's why they move. Okay, it's unbearable, so they have to move. The fidgeting a little bit, the moving a little bit releases the pressure. And I'm teaching them that instead of releasing the pressure, bear it, let it build up. That's how you get rid of it. You get rid of it a lot faster by not moving. When you move, this releases the pressure, but also they'll come back. because they know, they see that it works. They come to harass them. The ghost comes to harass them and planting thoughts in their minds so that they move. So if they resist it, eventually the ghosts figure out, well, it's a waste of our time. It doesn't work. So they don't bother you anymore. Okay, so that's why you want to resist monks. Pay attention. Okay, resist from moving. That's how you discourage them from coming again to harass you. Anyway, and there is another type of thing that I also experience where your body shakes. And the legs, I started by having my legs shaking, okay, and then became worse and worse. The whole body started shaking. And not just it happened just to me, but it also happened to a lot of my students as well. So what we teach you is from many years of experience, because we tried. It's a lot of trial and errors, because there's no clear instructions for Chan meditation out there. That's why there's room for so many different interpretations, and most of them are wrong. So anyway, so the body, in brief, the body shaking there is a very good state. Don't worry, it will go away. Okay, when I reach a certain level, it will naturally go away. Actually, it helps you progress a lot quicker when your body shakes. It's a good state. Yeah, but most people are frightened. Most monks and nuns who have that problems, they're afraid that it's a demonic state or whatever. No, it's nonsense. It's a good state. Okay, don't be afraid. Just bear with it, and eventually it will go away. The thing, though, is that it scares people around you. So some of my disciples, they shook so much that I decided to hide them when there are a lot of people. I put them in a different room behind partitions so that they can shake and bake as often as they want, as much as they want. And eventually, it all went away. When you reach a certain level, I can teach you how to, make the shaking go away immediately. But I don't want to teach you because I feel the shaking is very good. It clears your head. After the shaking, your head is a lot clearer. Okay, so it's worth it. There's no need to suppress it. Okay? So anyway, so after 40 minutes or so, my back hurt so much. And it's funny that that monk decided to institute a rule. He says, during the 1 hour sit, if anyone moves at all, that person will be beaten up. So there's a proctor who carries a stick around. Okay, and he that day was carrying around. So I said, I don't like you, so I ain't going to be caught. I'm not going to be caught and be beaten by you. So I refused to move. It hurt. No matter how much it hurt, I said, I'm not moving. Because naturally, when it hurts so much, you fidget a little bit, right? And then you get beaten. So I refused to move. So it's funny. So I still kept the whole body, all my muscles in my back, and my chest and everything, and shoulder, everything stiff, so that I wouldn't move, including the hips and the legs muscles. Okay, so I continued on, and the pain became searing pain, became so painful, and I wouldn't quit because I refused to be beaten by this monk, my senior monk. I was nervous back then myself, but I refused. So after I endured for 15, 20 minutes, okay, the pain went away. Bing! It went away by itself. It's magic. Same principle as when we teach you to sit in full lotus and it hurts so much. Same principle. Okay? The pain will take care of itself eventually. Okay. And so don't be afraid. When you stay in full lotus, it will hurt, but eventually it will go away and will make your legs your tendons more flexible, and you feel better after. So this is a secret in Chan meditation. First, you endure the pain, then you get the great benefits. Okay? And that's why the Chinese Chan is very tough. Unlike, for example, Zen. Have you listened to the Zen instructions that the Zen monks give out nowadays? Huh? It's not even meditation. It's some sort of, it should be called like yoga or something. It's all nonsense. Okay, it's all intellectual garbage, where they come up with excuses after excuses and reasons after reasons to tell you to meditate. It has nothing to do with meditation. Meditation is about the training of your mind. And the Zen now is becoming some sort of intellectual knowledge. Okay? It's no longer training. You understand training? Anyone have been to boot camp? No, not me, but I saw it on TV and the movies only. Okay? Boot camp. It's called training because you endure the pain and the hardship. That's what training is about. It's not supposed to be easy. Okay? It makes a man out of you or a woman out of you. Okay? So these Zen instructions are now like be comfortable, be happy, smile, and all those things. It's all nonsense. It has nothing to do about how to train your mind. Okay? And the Chinese Chan secret about training your mind is to endure. Okay? Do something challenging, the proper techniques, and endure the difficulties. Endure the discomfort. Okay? That's what Chan training is about. Zen instruction nowadays is feel good, feel better. It's total nonsense. Okay? And I don't blame a young Zen monk, but I think it's a shame that the senior Zen monk who trained them, who allowed them to teach, would tolerate that, would let it happen. That's why Zen is a horrible thing to learn nowadays. And I have nothing against Zen or Japanese. It's just that it's no longer Buddhist meditation. It's nonsense. Okay? It's a shame. Because Zen has its origin from Chan, and it's very profound. And the old Zen monks, the Zen monks of old, some of them were enlightened. Okay? And somehow they got lost. The knowledge got lost in the later generation. Same thing. So my master taught the proper Zen technique, the proper Chan techniques. Okay, and being Western educated people, I demanded more details, more reassurance that I'm doing it the right way. Okay, and so I look for more instructions. And these instructions are all nonsense. Okay? Especially the people who read a lot of books and Chan books and imagine these things. They invent things like, I noticed, for example, some of you, I also learned from, like you, after midday, you cup your hands and your eyes, your hands, and so forth, and rub your kidneys, whatever crap, okay? What kind of nonsense? Just think about it. You spend an hour calming your mind down by not moving. By not moving, you calm your mind down. If you move, your mind is agitating. It's agitated. You're agitating your mind when your body moves. You allow your thought to say, that's move, and you move, physically move, you're agitating your mind in return. You see that? A thought strikes up. It says, that's move, that's scratch our nose, that's, oh, it hurts, okay? And you move. So physically, first the thought strikes, you react to the thought, you move. So the physical movement now in return agitates your mind. So it's self-feeding process. The mind does not calm down at all, okay? Now, you understand that principle. So after you sit for an hour controlling yourself, at least your thoughts have moved, but you physically say, no, I'm not moving. So you're not feeding. You're not agitating your mind. Let it strike, let these thoughts arise and die, and let these thoughts arise and die. But you're not going to add to them. Is it clear? The technique is very, very simple. Don't move, okay? So you do that for an hour, and then what do you do? As soon the bell rings, and you go, and you do all these things. What are you doing? You're agitating your mind immediately. What kind of nonsense is that? Can't you even understand? Can't you even see it doesn't make sense? So it's like in Buddhism we call it adding a head on top of a head. It's nonsense. And that's what happens to a lot of Zen teachers and Chan teachers nowadays. They don't understand what Chan is about, so they invent these nonsense things to try to impress the students. They know a lot about Chan meditation, but in doing so, they stray away from the true Chan teaching. Okay. So anyway, I endure a lot of those things. I learned from a lot of bad teachers, the hard way, because I'm an idiot. You tell me what to do, I do it. My master told me to sit for a long time, I sat for a long time. And I said, and then what? So I started looking for instructions, so I found teachers who said, cup your eyes and rub your kidneys and, and all those things. I did all those things. Did it help? No. Not at all. It's nonsense. So I'm going back teaching you the same way that my Chinese Chan teachers didn't teach me. Okay? He taught his other disciples. Sit in full lotus. Don't move. Okay? And that's it. Now, and that's unfortunately. And this is why Chan meditation and Zen are on a decline, because these teachers taught too soon. They taught before they're ready to teach, before they understand how to teach. In our temples, I allow my students to teach, but we supervise them, because when they teach wrong, we correct them, and so that they can make the correction themselves. No one is trying to pretend to you that we know what we're doing, okay? We only try to tell you what you're doing wrong, okay? As per the patriarch's instructions. All right, was there a question? Go ahead, yellow.
I don't really have time to sit a lot or sit every day. So the closest thing I do is I do have a lot of time pushing a stroller around, walking every day, while listening to the Dharma talks. So if feels pretty good. It does. I think it helps, but it's nothing close to the sitting meditation. Is there any thing I can do to make that kind of meditation more effective?
Absolutely, there is. Sitting meditation is the most effective way to train in Chan meditation. I can't think anything better than that. Okay, remember the secret is that when you cross your legs in full lotus, there's some secret and wonderful thing that happens, and particularly it can be translated simply as your chi flow increases automatically. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything. As soon as you cross your legs, the chi jumps. The level of the chi flow, normally you like this, you cross your legs, it jumps to the next level immediately. That's all you have to do. Isn't it wonderful? You don't need to drink coffee. You don't need to do anything. Take sugar. Okay? No. All you have to do is when you're tired, cross your legs. And your energy will build up. Your battery will be recharged quickly. And will stay charged up. Instead, if you reach for some candies or Coke or something, it's only temporary, and it dies. Okay. So that's why these for training, for teaching meditation, for meditation in particular, train yourself to sit in full lotus. Okay, and once you know how to do that, once you teach yourself to sit in full lotus every day like we advise you to do, to develop the skill, okay? Because it's maintenance. Yeah? And you need to maintain yourself, again. So you sit in full lotus every day. And eventually it becomes a skill where naturally you will be able to use that technique to calm yourself, and to recharge yourself very quickly, like a supercharger, if you will. All right, so that's the best way, and when you can, when you're able to cross your legs, wherever you are, cross your legs, please. So in our world, like when we eat at lunch at the City 10,000 Buddhas, when I was a novice, they use these metal chairs would last like 100 years. Okay, very small. Base. We sit there, and all of us would sit in full lotus, so my legs would be hanging down. Okay. Back then, I was able to sit for 10 hours in full lotus, but still, it's very uncomfortable to have your legs hang down. And at the same time, you're trying to eat the one meal we're allowed to eat. So it's kind of cruel. Okay, Chinese are cruel, I think. So anyway, so it hurt. It's very uncomfortable. So it interferes with your enjoying the meal, the one meal we are allowed to eat officially. So we go through a lot of these types of trainings. So over the years, we naturally understand. As you learn to bear with that, eventually you see it's actually. It's better for you when you eat. Even when you eat, you cross your legs. Okay, that's what we learn, when we train to do. So there's no substitute for crossing your legs, as far as I know. Okay, for you, or for anyone. Okay. However, there's also something called walking meditation, where you can't cross your legs. There are times you can't cross your legs. My boys, they don't have time to cross their legs. I only have a few boys, and most of my students are girls. So So what happened is that we have a lot of work, especially physical work around the temples. So my boys are always busy, doing this or doing that, trimming the trees, pulling cables, cleaning, painting, you name it, okay? All the hard work that has to be done, my boys had to do it. And they're tired, and by the time they sit down to meditate, they all are dozing off, okay? So what to do? If they don't work, we need to get the work done, so they have to work. But when they work so hard, day and night, then they get tired, and when they meditate, they can't really meditate. So what do? So we have to teach them how to meditate while working, which is a little bit more difficult than for you to stroll and push a baby, what do you call it, stroller? Yeah, baby stroller, you push that. And then for my boys to meditate while working, okay? So yes, there is a way to meditate while walking, while strolling as well, okay? It's the same instructions I give you when I tell you after the sit to stand up and walk around to restore blood circulation in your legs. Same instructions. What do? When you stroll, when you walk around in the Buddha hall, meditation hall, after the sit, so to restore blood circulation in your legs, what you're supposed to do is you stand up. Remember? Okay? By all means, please don't rub your eyes, don't rub your kidneys, okay? If you don't do that, I'll give you the next set of instructions. You rub your kidneys and you cup your eyes and warm up your ears and so forth. I used to do all those things, by the way. Okay. Then don't apply the next set of instructions because they're useless. Okay? You stand up. When I will share with you, usually we have a paying section, but we gave up on the idea of paying section. No one pays. No one willing to pay. For some reason, I don't get it. All this knowledge I share with you came from many, many years of trial and errors, like R&D, mind you. Okay? Now I give it to you, you expect me to give it to you for free. Whereas you should be spending the next 15, 20 years full time to figure them out. Well, anyway, who says life is fair? So you stand up, you walk, okay? You walk. And as you walk, your head begins to think again. Yes? So what you do is those new thoughts come in, you throw them out. One after another. You walk, and the thought says, oh, it smells good. Throw it out. Next thought comes, but I'd rather have some French fries from McDonald's. Throw it out. Okay? And then you say, ask mommy for an increase in the month, the daily stipends. They don't do that at home. Now that I meditate, I should negotiate. Okay? Throw it out. So what you do as you walk around, you throw whatever thought you're aware of that comes to your head that arises, throw it out. Throw it out. Throw it out. That's all you do. That's called walking meditation. Get it? Same thing. So when you push your baby with your baby carriage around, the thought arises, you throw it out. And that's meditation. Right there. Okay? You see how beautiful, how simple it is? That's called walking meditation instead of sitting meditation. Okay? You do that, you can become enlightened too. But the fundamentals, okay, the ability to be able to throw it out, okay, right there, that skill right there is sharpened by sitting meditation. Because if all you do is walking meditation like that alone without sitting meditation, this is gonna not work that well for you. So that's the secret. Don't think that you can do simply walking meditation like these retreats. I'm sorry, why do it sound so negative of my competitors? You know, I know people like you go to these retreats in the mountains, these beautiful retreats, you know, and they teach you how to do walking meditation. 1, 2, 3, beautiful, you know, this, and then you open your eyes and you watch, you know, the nature. Inhale, oh, this air is so fresh. I'm feeling so good. Oh, your head is full of thoughts. You're really enjoying yourself, aren't you? And you call it walking meditation? Hell no. Walking meditation, is any thought you wear off, throw it out. Cut it off. It's better. Throw it out as for children, but for us adults, you take a pair of scissors, you chop it off. Okay. If you do gardening, okay, the pair of shears, you know, nippers right there, you nip it right off, nip the butt right off. That's it. That's walking meditation. Got it? That's it. Don't make the mistakes of enjoying the nature and enjoying the nice feeling and the being able to get away from the house, the madhouse, and from the screaming kids. Did anyone notice there's some kind of kid who's screaming while we were sitting for the whole hour? Whose kid is that? Your kid. And as soon as we're done sitting, what happened? No more screaming. You see? It's called karmic obstructions. Yeah. All right? You endure. That's how you get over it. All right? Yeah. All right. Any other questions? So that's what happens nowadays. Be careful. You know, the Chan meditation instructions are very simple, very, very precise, and because of that, the teachers who are not ready to teach, they add too much more spices, and that's why people are confused, and they don't make progress anymore. Okay. So my advice to you, general advice to you, is to learn the fundamentals like the Chinese brought to this country. Those are wonderful secrets right there. Do those things, and if you do those things, you're supposed to improve. This is predicated. The reason you improve is because you have the right technique, the proper technique. You don't follow these worldly things where, you know, again, these ridiculous things like rubbing your kidneys and cupping your eyes and, you know, and massaging your ears. Nonsense. Okay, you should recognize this is really nonsense and run away from these places. Okay, it's a waste of your time. Seriously, yeah. I wasted my time before too myself. So don't let it happen to you, and so you meditate using proper technique. And number two, and I'm going to be blunt nowadays. When I first started teaching years ago, I danced around the issue because I didn't want to offend people. After 15 years of teaching, I have nothing else new to tell you. And besides, I'm getting too old and too impatient. Why aren't you enlightened yet? 15 years, that's a long time. What's wrong? What's the matter with you? Anyway, you're supposed to improve. If with the proper technique, you're supposed to improve, okay? And the reason you improve is because you have the right technique, and number two, the proper environment. Okay, so it pays to come to the temple. Before I didn't dare tell you that, because I said, then I'd be advocating that you come to my temple. No, actually we have a few locations now. You come to any locations, you should get the same benefits. Actually, I noticed, I come to San Jose occasionally, I noticed that people in San Jose have been steadily improving. It's a good thing. So whatever you're doing right, I don't know what you're doing right, don't change. Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, if I may add a few more things about teaching children Chan meditation. I think it's a wonderful thing. Let me tell you that only the really special kids get to be trained in Chan, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult to encounter Chan instructions nowadays. True Chan instructions is very difficult for you to find, let alone your children. That's not possible. You see, our problem is that we have to train the adults first. We don't have time to worry about the children yet. We don't have enough manpower to worry about that. And so you should take Chan meditation seriously yourself, and as you improve, you can help your children. Okay, and we teach by example. Whatever I teach you is from my own personal experience. It's not from reading books, because I read enough books. I have a lot of junk knowledge, just like you. Wei Mountain Temple has a question.
Master,
Yes, Apple,
yes,
your girlfriend.
I was sitting on full lotus, and then one day I got tooth pain, and it happens like 2 times. Was it healing or something else happened?
Translation. Okay, what's your first language? Did you hear this funny story, this joke? Okay, what happened is that we have a Lu Mountain Temple that we've been neglecting. We're just too busy to go to Lu Mountain Temple anymore. So it's been like a year now that we rarely go there. I haven't been there for like 9 months. Okay, straight. Never showed up for 9 months in a row. And so our Hispanic neighbor clued into their connections, so they broke in. Okay, they broke in to the temple. Did you hear that? Okay, and so they broke in. They tried to break into the Buddha hall, couldn't get in. Broke into the Sangha house. We have another building next to it. We call it Sangha house. And they broke in, and there's one nun there left, okay, who's not supposed to be there. Okay. I think she was playing hooky or something. So, because he knew our schedule, on the weekend we're too busy over at the Wei Mountain Temple to hang around Lu Mountain Temple. But that day, she decided to stay back for some reason. And so they're trying to break into her room. So she screamed, okay? And she called the other nuns and said, and to tell them. And so one of the nun at Wei Mountain Temple call 911. Okay? And I think that nun is like Vietnamese Chiu Chow or something. She always said, whatever she told the 911 people, they said, what is your first language? The nun says, English. So the other person said calmly, what about your second language? So you see, that's where the what is your first language joke come from. Oh. So it's funny thing is that, so the 911 operator, whatever she said, whatever her second language was, she passed on to an operator who spoke in Chinese, which this person immediately passed on to another Chinese person. That's the 911 service for you. Anyway, so what's the question again? Do we have a translation now? No? No one's helping?
Apple is asking, when she meditates, she got toothache twice. She's wondering if the toothache is the process of healing or if it is something else.
Meditating and there's a toothache. I heard cake or something. I said, you don't have cake when you meditate? Okay. I don't know. If you have a toothache, go see a dentist. We have some good ones that we can recommend to you as well. So this is what happens. These people meditate and they have all these things, and they think we're doctors and dentists and so on. So that's the corporate line is that go see a dentist, go see a doctor, okay? Don't try to give them medical advices. But, okay? Go see a dentist. Don't hesitate. You take it seriously. When you meditate and you have these things, you should go check with medical professionals and come back and tell us what their advices are, just in case. Okay? First line defense is go see the professionals, please. Okay? And you better be safe than sorry, and you learn. Don't ignore these issues. You have to take these clues very seriously. Okay? If there's pain, then something is wrong. Go find out what is. Okay? Way Mountain has a question.
Master, we got this lady. She just tried her 2 hours, and then as she was close to her 2 hours, she became super cold.
It sounds so
normal?
terrible. So what is the question again?
She became super cold. So is that normal?
Oh, there is a question. Thank you. Yeah, it's supposed to be normal. Next question. It's a good thing when you meditate. What is called, you read from the books. Supposedly, you go through 9 states before you enter samadhi. It's from the books. I experienced, I think, all of them. I don't remember what they are now. Okay, so I read a lot just like you, most of you. 9 states. 1 state is to feel cold. And what happens for most people, they feel cold and they say, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, oh my God. Oh no, Jesus, well, whatever the expression is. They worry. They say, oh, this is not supposed to happen. And then you should realize it's the wrong reaction. Just observe. You cold? I'm cold. That's it. You're done. You endure. Okay? So you feel cold, you feel hot. Anyone feel hot? Anyone at all? Felt hot? I felt cold. Okay? It's a chill. Then I felt hot. Yes? Sweating. Right? What else you feel? 8 of them. I only talk about 2. I don't remember them all. I'm getting too old. What else? Anyone who remembers? Huh? There are 8 states. It's normal. You feel cold. You feel hot. Pairs are opposites. You feel, let's see, you feel what? I don't know. I forgot. Huh? You feel itchy? Hey, did you say itchy or sleepy? I'm making fun of her. Yeah? Itchy. You feel itchy. It's a normal thing. Okay? You feel itchy. Okay? That's a natural state. And what's the opposite of itchy? You feel like slimy, like you are a slime ball. See, I know some of you experienced that already. Okay? And that's 4. What else? Heavy and light. That's 6. Excellent. What else? Come on, quickly. We have to go eat. Huh? What? Drowsy and alert. Boring. Okay? So those are states. Regardless, you see the books say that you will experience these 8 states, there's 4 pairs of states where they naturally occur just before you enter samadhi. And what these people do is that they say, oh my God, it's too hot. Oh, I better, remove one layer. It's too cold. Ooh, I better add one more layer. And what happens when you do that? You don't enter samadhi. That's why endure it. Okay? And will go away naturally. Okay? Very good. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Stop here today.